today's topic is anatomy of cornea. The cornea is a transparent, avascular, watch glass-like structure. It forms anterior 1/6 of the outer fibrous coat of the eyeball. Dimensions: the anterior surface of cornea is elliptical with an average horizontal diameter of 11.7 mm and vertical diameter of 11 mm. The posterior surface of cornea is circular with an average diameter of 11.5 mm. Thickness of cornea in the center is about 0.52 mm, while at the periphery it is 0.7 mm. Radius of curvature. The central 5 mm area of the cornea forms the powerful refracting surface of the eye. The anterior and posterior radii of curvature of this central part of cornea are 7.8 mm and 6.5 mm, respectively. Refractive power of the cornea is about 45 diopters, which is roughly 3/4 of the total refractive power of the eye, 60 diopters. Histology. Histologically, the cornea consists of 5 distinct layers. From anterior to posterior, these are epithelium, Bowman's membrane, substantia propria, corneal stroma, Descemet's membrane, and endothelium. 1. Epithelium. It is of stratified squamous type and becomes continuous with the epithelium of bulbar conjunctiva at the limbus. It consists of 5 to 6 layers of cells. The deepest basal layer is made up of columnar cells, next 2 to 3 layers of wing or umbrella cells, and the most superficial 2 layers are of flattened cells. 2. Bowman's membrane. This layer consists of a cellular mass of condensed collagen fibrils. It is about 12 micrometers in thickness and binds the corneal stroma anteriorly with basement membrane of the epithelium. It is not a true elastic membrane but simply a condensed superficial part of the stroma. It shows considerable resistance to infection. But once destroyed, it does not regenerate. 3. Stroma substantia propria. This layer is about 0.5 mm in thickness and constitutes most of the cornea, 90% of total thickness. It consists of collagen fibrils, lamellae, embedded in hydrated matrix of proteoglycans. The lamellae are arranged in many layers. In each layer they are not only parallel to each other but also to the corneal plane and become continuous with scleral lamellae at the limbus. The alternating layers of lamellae are at right angle to each other. Among the lamellae are present keratocytes, wandering macrophages, histiocytes, and a few leukocytes. 4. Descemet's membrane, posterior elastic lamina. The Descemet's membrane is a strong homogeneous layer which bounds the stroma posteriorly. It is very resistant to chemical agents, trauma, and pathological processes. Therefore, Descemetocele can maintain the integrity of eyeball for long. Descemet's membrane consists of collagen and glycoproteins. Unlike Bowman's membrane, it can regenerate. Normally it remains in a state of tension, and when torn it curls inwards on itself. In the periphery it appears to end at the anterior limit of trabecular meshwork as Schwalb's line, ring. 5. Endothelium. It consists of a single layer of flat polygonal, mainly hexagonal, cells which on slit lamp biomicroscopy appear as a mosaic. The cell density of endothelium is around 3,000 cells per square millimeter in young adults, which decreases with the advancing age. There is a considerable functional reserve for the endothelium. Therefore, corneal decompensation occurs only after more than 75% of the cells are lost. The endothelial cells contain active pump mechanism. Blood supply. Cornea is an avascular structure. Small loops derived from the anterior ciliary vessels invade its periphery for about 1 mm. Actually, these loops are not in the cornea but in the subconjunctival tissue which overlaps the cornea. Nerve supply. Cornea is supplied by anterior ciliary nerves, which are branches of ophthalmic division of the 5th cranial nerve. After going about 2 mm in cornea, the nerves lose their myelin sheath and divide dichotomously and form 3 plexuses: the stromal, subepithelial, and intraepithelial. Applied physiology. The 2 primary physiological functions of the cornea are I, to act as a major refracting medium, and to protect the intraocular contents. Cornea fulfills these duties by maintaining its transparency and replacement of its tissues. Corneal transparency. The transparency is the result of peculiar arrangement of corneal lamellae, lattice theory of Maurice, avascularity, and relative state of dehydration, which is maintained by barrier effects of epithelium and endothelium and the active bicarbonate pump of the endothelium. For these processes, cornea needs some energy. Source of nutrients. 1. Solutes, glucose and others enter the cornea by either simple diffusion or active transport through aqueous humor and by diffusion from the paralimbal capillaries. 2. Oxygen is derived directly from air through the tear film. This is an active process undertaken by the epithelium. Metabolism of cornea. The most actively metabolizing layers of the cornea are epithelium and endothelium, the former being 10 times thicker than the latter requires a proportionately larger supply of metabolic substrates. Like other tissues, the epithelium can metabolize glucose both aerobically and anaerobically into carbon dioxide and water and lactic acid, respectively. Thus, under anaerobic conditions lactic acid accumulates in the cornea.